Welcome, everybody. I'd like to hand over for the team today, for the FLEXPROTECT team, to be giving a demonstration on the FLEXPROTECT portal. And from here, we're going to be doing a basic overview of the portal itself. And for the presentation, I'd like to hand it over to Terry. So Terry, welcome, and we appreciate you giving us this presentation today.
Yeah, thank you, and good morning, everyone. So I'm going to go through this at a fairly high level due to the time. First of all, you can see on the screen one of the three top-level views of the assets. This is the map view and allows you to see where on the map the assets are located. You can display all of the assets in a particular account. These assets are set up for people, for tracking people, but you can select different types of assets for this to cover. It could be luggage, rucksacks. It can be assets that are, like a generator or whatever it is you want to be able to track in here. But on the right-hand side, you can see the map, and we have visual clusters here. This one has 18 assets inside it. These are actually individual assets, and if you hover over them, you can see where these particular people were when they last reported in. If I want to get more information, I can click on the visual asset and it will break apart, gradually drilling down into more assets. And you can see here a lot of people were at this particular Green Valley Ranch resort for a sales kickoff earlier in the year. But you can see that as we hover over these, we can see where the individuals were when it last reported in. And we can just pan back up and the clusters will come back together again, basically showing you where everyone is. If I go into the other controls we have here, there is a search that can take you to a particular address, and if I just enter, for example, a zip, we can select that one in Virginia. There's no assets there, but it will just take you straight to that location. And I'm going to come back out again so you can see all of the assets on the national view again. And we also have the ability to go into satellites or show setup geofences or heat maps in here as well. Heat maps show you where most of the locations are. If we drill down, you'll see these go progressively more red as the concentrations build up of where people are. The satellite view obviously gets you into a more detailed view of where they are. We can drill right the way down here. We can take the heat map back off again and get back to a more traditional view there. So I'm going to go back into the digital map, zoom back out again. These are the basic map controls. Whoops, sorry, I shouldn't have done that. What we can do also is filter. And so you'll see the filters here over on the left. And so we can do a search and show just the assets that are located in a particular state, or multiple states if you click on the more, and you can select, let's say, everyone in Nevada and California, and that will zoom in to just those areas. We can also select an individual, so just Nevada, and I'm not quite sure why that's not updating at the moment, but I'll carry on anyway. You can select by the battery types as well. And so whether the battery is charged in the 0 to 3 range or the 2 to 6 range, and it could be that the internet at this end is a little bit flaky here. I'm not catching up. This one is working fine. It's showing battery percentage in the 0 to 5 volt range here. We can also do the inverse of that, anyone that's not in the 0 to 5 volt range. So a number of these types of searches can be created and can be saved as well. So if we want to try that one again, we can also save these filters for later use. The other part of the three top-level views are we have a list view, and we also have a gallery view in here as well. And again, you can search the criteria by only those in California. And so you can show who is in California at the moment, or whose battery, you can build these up, is in a particular voltage range as well. So those are the three top views, and those filters remain right across there. We can also do more detailed searches in this bar by a particular name or a particular asset type that's in there. And you can also filter down that way. And the strength of the platform is in this powerful searching that it has. So just going back to the map view again, the other things to bring up here are the ability to change profiles, your profile as the user that's logged in or log out. You can also see the alerts that have been sent out, a history of the alerts that have come in for this whole organization. And so we can see that Steve has pressed the push button. It was 8 days ago now that he pushed it, but we can see in there a history of the alerts in here. These alerts are also displayed on these alert notifications on the mobile phone in a very similar mode, and can be received in email as well. And I'll show you how to set the alerts up in just a second. So the other navigation mechanism is up the top here. This is the asset page. We also have a geofence page where you can set up geofences. This has also the vehicles set on here. We can turn the vehicles off if we wish. Very easy to set up a geofence, and you can have any number and any size as well. And so I'm just going to set one up here that's a polygon, and we can set that polygon drawn out. Whoop. And just connect it back up. Sorry, a little sensor touch error there with me. You can put a name on it, so let's just say test. We can put a category on that, let's just say it's in a yard at the moment, or we can put an address on it. And that can be submitted to save. But we can go one step further on here as well and say I only want to know about entry or exit or both by checking these marks. Or we can also set a schedule of when it's active. So I only want this active, let's say, on a Sunday, a Tuesday, a Thursday, and a Saturday between, let's say, 9 p.m. and 5:01. And that will be the local time of where the geofence is located. So it will only monitor and send out alerts if someone enters or exits the geofence in this configuration, enter or exit, during these times, and that's the active. And you add a schedule. Once you've added a schedule, it will confirm it. You can add multiple schedules and then submit this to save it and create the geofence. And now if I go back to our geofences again, you can see my test one is in there. The little clock denotes that there is a schedule on that, and I can also delete it as well so that it's not in there later on. I'm just going to delete that out now so that we don't have that sitting there. The next one is the reports. And so this will show you a summary of the data that you set up in here for your reporting. We have one set up at the moment. It's very easy for us to build more reports, so we'll be adding to this. And I'll click on this to go into the report. You can filter or sort, first of all, so I can change the sort orders here on any of these columns. I can filter in the same way as you just saw in the map page, so I can click on last time it reported. I can also set in here new columns and new filters, and if I go into the settings, I can change around the order. So maybe the date is very important to me, so I'm going to put that in column 1. And maybe I'm not too interested in, let's say, the dealer name or the name of the organization in here, and so I'm just going to take that out. So I can move around the columns. I can add columns as well from down here. Maybe I want to have speed in here, or there's not a lot of speeding information, I don't think. Depends on whether someone has been just walking or moving in a car or what have you. Once that's done, I can download this in a format of either a CSV or a PDF, or I can save this for later use. The other thing I can do is to come out of here and go into a schedule. I can set up a schedule for this to be delivered in my email. And so I just go in here, I can set it up to be daily, I can set it up to be, let's say, monthly, and I can set the days that I want to receive this. I can set up the recipients. And I can set up the format that I want to receive it in. Save that and test it. And that will now be sent to my email, and that will be coming in on those days every morning. So that's a very easy way for you to get a detailed report of where everyone is on a particular day or week or month or whatever. I'm going to turn that off for the moment. So that's the reports in a very, very summarized version, but these are extremely powerful, and we can add a lot more into the reports as we go along here. But it's a dynamic reporting environment that allows our users to denote what data they want in there, the column order that they want them, and the column sort order as well. Makes it very powerful. We also have a dashboard in here which gives you another way of navigating around the application. And so if you click on any of the tiles in here, it will take you to that part of the application. I'm going to go in this way and show you the accounts. So you can sort by the role that is on the account, and the roles change the functionality that a particular user has access to. Again, we can filter or search all of the columns in here, as we already have in the other views. But we can also create an account very easily. Just set up the name, first name, last name, a short username if they want to use that to log in, that's easier, their email, the time zone that they're in, and this part here which I want to come to, which is the roles. And you can set up different roles that they can have. These give different feature sets, and they can have multiple roles when you set it up. Our roles are additive. So the reason is that if you're in a larger organization, you may have different people with a role defined for them. In a smaller organization, maybe someone's wearing multiple hats and has several roles. They can add them together. But the point here is the roles simplify what you're looking at in the application so that you only see what you need to see, and there's not a lot of clutter. I have everything turned on right now for me, but in another situation, you may have different roles in here which constrain what you can do. We have device management as well. The main thing that device management is used for is to move devices around to different organizations so that you can organize what you're doing, and you can create organizations using the action. Sorry, I'm in the wrong view here. I should be in. This is the device view, sorry, first of all, and that allows you to, first of all, view your device transfer history, but you can also select all or select some of the devices and transfer to another organization. And you just click here to select the organization. I don't have any others set up right now, but there would be a list of organizations to move them into. And you can clear out the prior history on that asset or clear out the details of the asset that's actually have been previously put on there if you want to do that, so just to purge it out. But that's how you move devices between organizations, all the same filtering as we've seen before. And what I just started to mention was organizations. This is how you organize your devices. So again, you can create an organization by clicking on this, and it will lead you through setting up the organization's time zone and who the administrator of that organization is, if you want to do that. And you can also set up, then after you've done that, transfer the devices in so that you have maybe a field service organization or maybe a different group that you want to assign devices to. So very simple way of moving through this. The last thing really I want to show you on this is the settings. And these are the settings for your particular organization. So you can change things like the units of measurement, time zones, after it's been set up. You can also set up a custom logo in here for each organization. We can set up contacts, and we can set up alerts. So you can set up alerts across all assets in a particular organization or on an individual asset, and I'll show you that in just a moment. But it's very simple. You just turn them on and off, and you can also set up different criteria that they trigger at. So just going back to the asset screen, the other thing I should show you in here is what an asset can do. And if we click on Dennis here, we can change the setup. So you can change the upload image. In this particular version, we just have person as an asset. But as I mentioned earlier on, in other configurations, we can set this up to be ATVs, motorcycles. It can be luggage. It can be anything you want to assign it to. And that then allows you to do searches by category or asset type. And you can set up a number of other characteristics of this particular asset. We'll come back out of here again. The other things that we can do in here are set alerts just on this particular person or asset. We can also locate right now. If wherever that person is and just click on that. And there are two other actions we can do in here. If you want to remove a device from an asset so it's no longer associated with it, you can do that here. And the device is put back into your pool of free devices to reassociate with someone else or some other asset. Terminate tracking is if you lose the device. Maybe someone has it attached to a motorized asset and it's sold, and the asset is not, the device was removal was forgotten. You can terminate the tracking so you're no longer tracking that particular asset, but you can't retrieve the device any longer, and that then is not put back into your inventory. The other things you can see is the current battery percentage that it's still got on it. This one's run out of charge now. We can see where it last was, what it reported in. And we can also look at things like trips. Now, because this hasn't reported in for a while, I'm going to need to go back and look at some of the trips earlier on. And so we have some trips here. And I can also do in this view exactly what I've done previously, which is look at the satellite map, look at geofences I can put on here if any are around. We can scan through the different stops and starts and trips for this. You can look at just the stops and then sort them by frequency or by duration. And we can look at events as well, and I need to go backwards, to the a date where we have events in here. There we go. And you can just look at
Can you tell me if any of those locations are bars? Because my son will be in big trouble if they are.
Good point. And so this is the general things that you can do in the asset view here. That is pretty much, I think, most of what we have in here. We have a global search as well, I should also mention. And so you can just search by, let's say, herb. And it will bring up anything, whether it is an asset, a vehicle, an account, an organization, a device that has the word herb in it. And you can get a global search. It's a very easy way of identifying a particular string and where everything is that's associated with that. But that is a very, very quick run through the web part of the app. There is an equivalent mobile app that allows a end user to do very similar items again, particularly targeted in a consumer world, but we also have a fleet world for this as well, so that you can go through and be able to access this from mobile app that's on both Android and App Store locations. So with that, I think that's pretty much the run through, and any questions anyone has, I'm very happy to answer.
Yeah, Terry, we really appreciate it. As everybody can see, the FLEXPROTECT portal is a dynamic tool that allows all of our partners to be able to take advantages of true IoT and telematics. We do want to offer out to all of our Hyperion partners and also customers, if they would like an additional demo, please feel free to contact your Hyperion sales representative, and we'll be able to schedule one. So thank you.